Well, look at you. You did it. You achieved the impossible. You found someone who's going to run the Doctor Who RPG, and you got to make a character for it. I've been GMing for 6 years. Never have I found somebody who's going to run the Doctor Who RPG. It's always me. I'm always the one running it. But you did the unthinkable. You found somebody who's going to run the RPG. But you need to make a character. And you don't know how. Because guess what? Nobody fucking owns this book. I own this book, but nobody else does. Well, lucky for you, you found me. And who am I? I'm Jay the Archfey. And today, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a Doctor Who 2nd edition character. Now, you're probably thinking, Jay, what about 1st edition? What's the difference? The only difference is 1st edition has negative and positive skills, and in this, they don't put that in, because guess what? You shouldn't have to put on a sheet, I'm scared of spiders. Now I have a negative when I meet a spider. The game's like, use your common sense. GMs and players, use your common sense. If you put down your character can't swim, you don't, like, if you've decided in your backstory your character can't swim, you shouldn't have to write that down. The GM should just know, and so if you jump in water, you can't swim. Right? Makes sense? Now, a little background. Doctor Who RPG is a 2d6 system. It is not exactly Powered by the Apocalypse. It's kind of a mixture of D&D and Powered by the Apocalypse. Basically, you roll 2d6, you add the number together, and then if you can fail, succeed, or partially succeed, depending on how close to the threshold the DM wanted you roll. However, I'm not here to teach you how to play the game. I'm here to teach you how to make a character. Your DM can teach you how to play the game. That's their job. They also probably should tell you how to make a character, but who am I to judge them? I'm just a goat on the internet. Now, with all things, you have to start somewhere, and today we're going to start with the simple option, which is the character name. Now, what is our character's name? Well, your character is named whatever the hell you want him to be named. You know what my character's name is? You guessed it, motherfuckers. If you watch the Marvel video, it's the return of Biff the Squirrel. Now, you got your name perfect. Now you need your concept. What does your character do for a living? What's their background? My background, he's a squirrel. Yours could be bus driver. It could be pilot. It could be stay-at-home mom. Whatever you want. That's your concept. Now, focus. This is one word you have to describe your character and all of their motivations. It could be an upside and a downside, depending on... Actually, it should be both. It should be both an upside and a downside. The example they give in the book is Rory Williams from Doctor Who. He's a nurse, so he gets a bonus whenever he's saving lives and doing nursey shit, and he gets a bonus story point anytime he's like, hey, I'm a nurse. I can't hurt people, even though it would be way easier for him just to kill a motherfucker. It's a way to stay in character, right? So Biff's a squirrel. His focus is nutty. As you can probably tell by this character creation, this game is very vague, and it's all about you coming up with stuff. So I, as a GM, if I looked down and said nutty, I'd say, okay, so Biff, listen, you're nutty. So that means you're a little bit crazy. Or you like nuts, depending. So you get a bonus anytime a distraction needs to be held, because you're kind of crazy. You also get an extra story point anytime the party needs to be super, like, chill, but you're still being your crazy, nutty self. Does that make sense? One word, describe your character that could give them one buff and one debuff, depending on the situation. Again, it's vague. It's up to you. Talk to your DM. Right, homeworld. I'm assuming Earth, because he's a squirrel. The average human has a tech level of 5, but he's a squirrel, so his tech level is going to be 2. But if you're a human being, your tech level is 5. Now, short-term goal and long-term goal also should be self-explanatory. It's what you want to do in the next month or so, what you want to do with your life, right? So short-term goal for Biff, next month or so, he wants to store food for winter. Now, when you achieve that goal, you get experience points. His long-term goal is to be the king of the forest. So basically, near the end of the campaign, if it's a campaign, your GM's going to be like, wow, you're the king of the forest. If it's the one shot, you're probably not going to get to your long-term goal, but you might. You never know. Next, story points. Everyone's got 12. Okay? Congratulations. Start with 12. We'll get back to that. Now, attributes. You have 18 points to split between these two things. Everything has to be at least a 1. So, you have 18 minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 12. 12 more points to put into everything else. Now, the average person has a 3 to 4 in just about everything. Biff is a squirrel. Squirrels have to be very aware of their surroundings. So Biff is going to have 4 in his awareness. Now, Biff is also a squirrel, and squirrels have to be good at parkour. So that means I'm going to give him a 3 in his coordination. I have 6 more points, so I'm going to give him 2 in resolve. And honestly, that's going to be it. I'm going to use 12 of my 18 points. It is 18, right? Let me check the book. Book check! Now, I'm not going to use all 18 points because he's a squirrel. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 minus 18. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I have 6 extra points. What do I do with those 6 extra points? I put them into skills. Now, skills are where you really focus on your area of what you're really good at. You don't have to fill out every skill. You have another 18 points in the skills. Plus, I have the 6 from this that I didn't use. I'm a squirrel, so I'm going to be weak as fuck. You probably want to have higher stats than I do. So 6 plus 18 equals 24. So I have 24 points to put into my skills. Okay, now, for every skill, you can have a specialization. What is a specialization? Well, guess what? If you're an athlete, you're probably not a swimmer and a runner and a weightlifter and all that, right? You have one area you really focus in. So let's say you're really athletic. I'm playing a squirrel. They're really athletic. I'm going to give him a 5 in this skill, right? Now that he has a 5, I can spend 1 point to get a specialization. Let me rephrase. If I had to put 3, if I have 3 or higher in this box, I can spend an additional point to get a specialization. So that's going to be a total of 6 points. So the extra is gone. So now I'm back to 18. My specialization is going to be climbing because he's a squirrel. All right. Actually, we're going to backtrack because I realized I just started filling shit out. So we're going to backtrack, all right? Backtrack with the... Awareness is your perception. Coordination is your dexterity. Ingenuity is your intelligence. Presence is your charisma. Resolve is your constitution. Strength is your strength. Those are D&D terms. Awareness, how good are you at looking around and being alert? Coordination, how good are you at parkouring and moving around and do you have 2 left feet? Ingenuity, how scientific-y and smart are you? Presence, charisma. I think that's self-explanatory. Resolve, how stubborn are you? Both in mind and body. Strength, also self-explanatory. Scroll down here, athletics. How athletic are you? Conflict. Okay, conflict is how you confront an enemy. You want to shoot them, you roll for conflict. You want to run away, you roll for conflict. Makes sense? So he's a squirrel. They're really good at running away. So I'm going to give him 4 to his conflict, and his specialization is going to be running like a bitch. So you got 18 points to put into this. You have to have 1 in everything. Any point you don't use gets brought over to this. You have 18 points to put into this, plus what you don't use for your awareness. For your skills, you fill out the bubbles for the ones you think. If you have above a 3, you can spend 1 more skill to have a specialization. Makes sense? Makes sense. All right, coming over here. Distinctions. What are distinctions? Well, distinctions are if you want to play an alien or some weird shit, you have to have a distinction. I have a distinction. I'm a talking squirrel. The average human would not have an extinction, so they get to keep all their story points. If you want to be an alien, a cyborg, or something else that would give you great powers like a telepath, you would have to get rid of however many story points the DM says it would cost to have this distinction. I'm going to say, because you're a tiny talking squirrel and it's going to be really easy to disguise yourself, you don't get 12 story points as a squirrel. You get... well, it won't erase, but you get... ignore that. You get 8 story points. That's the cap you can have. What is a story point, you're wondering? Well, in this game, you roll 2d6 and you add this number, your attribute plus your skill, plus 2 if you have a specialization, right? Or it's an advantage, depends on the DM. Now, let's say you rolled and you got a total of 5. You rolled really bad. That's probably a failure. You could use a story point to say, actually, I rolled a 10. And then the DM says, well, you jumped into the Grand Canyon, so to succeed from this, it's going to cost you 5 story points to not die. Or if it's like, oh, I stubbed my toe trying to look cool, I'd like to use a story point to say I didn't stub my toe. The DM would say, to not stub your toe is 1 story point. Depends on what you're trying to fix and the scale of the thing you were trying to attempt. All right, got that? So distinction, you don't need one. Talk to your DM before you get one. They'll tell you how many story points it costs you. Experiences. Everybody should have 2. I'm gonna put P, actually. We'll put P for personal and G for group. The personal experience is something that happened to you in your life that you can call upon and use at any point. So let's say one time, Biff he was in the attic of a house he crawled into, and he fell through the ceiling and was in this kitchen while there were a bunch of people over. So his experience is trapped in a house, right? He got trapped in a house. Now, during the game, if the party's ever in a house and the DM's like, there's a monster coming, you have to go hide from the Zygon, Biff could say, excuse me, DM, in my experiences, I have trapped in a house. Can I use that to get advantage to hide? And the DM could say, sure. Group experiences, you have to come up with another player. One time, Biff met a cat, broke a cat. We'll say the cat was stuck in a kennel. We'll keep it can head because that's funny. But the cat was stuck in a kennel, and Biff freed the cat. And so now Biff and the cat both know how to escape kennels if they ever get locked up. And they can say, hey, DM, me and this cat one time got locked in kennels together. Can we use that skill as a team to break out? Equipment. Talk to your DM. They'll give you the equipment you need, or you can say what you want. Biff's a squirrel. He has a sword. Conditions happen during the game. You could be drunk. You could be hurt. You could be dead. All of these are conditions, but they don't matter right now. They only matter when you're in the game. So, quick recap. You have your name, character name. You have your concept. What are they? Are they a bus driver? Are they a squirrel? Are they a pilot? Are they a soldier? Are they a scientist? It's kind of like your class. It's the main thing about them. You have your focus. Why do you do what you do? Right? One word that describes your character and why they exist. Some could say somebody's focus is travel. And then you're really fucking good at traveling, but you're also more likely to ditch your friends to go to a museum. Your focus has to have a positive and a negative. You can write down anywhere on the page as long as you talk to your DM about it. We picked Nutty. That means that he's fucking crazy, which helps them scare people and attack people, but also fails them when they're trying to be calm and collective. You're probably from Earth. Your tech level is probably 5 for the average person, but I made a squirrel, so I made it 2. So if you're a human being, this is probably 5 unless you're a boomer. Okay, short-term goal. Store food for winter. Your short-term goal is what your character wants to achieve in the next 3 to 5 business days, maybe a month. Your long-term goal is your life goal. So, I put food for winter and Big King of Forest. Attributes. You have your awareness, coordination, ingenuity, presence, resolve, and strength, which are perception, dexterity, intelligence, charisma, constitution, and strength. You have 18 points. Any points you don't know, you can put into your skills, which you also already have 18 points for. Your options for skills are athletics, which is parkour and being athletic, conflict, which is fighting, convince, which is persuasion, craft, which is being crafty, intuition, which is being smart, knowledge, which is being smart about books, medicine, which is self-explanatory, science, which is self-explanatory, subterfuge, which means you're sneaky as fuck, survival, which is self-explanatory, technology, and transport that are all self-explanatory. Now, if you have more than 3 points in one of these skills, you can spend an extra point and get a specialization of your choice. Talk to your DM about them. There are many options. It's very vague. Going back up, you should have, if you don't have a distinction, you should have 12 story points. If you do have a distinction, you should have as many story points as your DM told you to have. What is a distinction? Again, it is something weird quirk about your character. It could be superpowers. It could be they're a fucking demon. It could be they're an alien. It's whatever. Experiences, you have one that is you by yourself experience. For me, I was trapped in a house. So if I'm ever trapped in a house again, I can call upon that experience to get a bonus when rolling. Then you have a group experience, you and another person. For us, it's Kennel Busters, but it says Can Head. We know how to break out of small enclosed spaces together. Equipment, talk to your DM. They'll tell you what equipment you can have out of what you need. I have a sword. This whole section is so vague, and yes, it is. The point of this RPG is that you as a player have full freedom to make whoever the hell you want with the help of your DM. So it's vague and it's weird because it's meant to make you think. It's really hard to explain to somebody the focus, because it's literally, the book says one word that describes your character that would give them one advantage and one disadvantage. The example they give, like I said, is Rory. He's a nurse. His focus is nurse. What does he do with that focus? He gets a bonus when he helps people, and he gets a story point when he acts accordingly. He swore an oath to save people. He's not going to kill anybody. So even if he has a chance to kill the biggest, baddest person in the world, and the player chooses not to because he's a nurse, he would get a story point. That is your focus. It is what you believe and who you are as a person. And your experiences are also very broad. The whole thing is very broad. You really have to sit down and think, what do I want my character to be? This isn't like a let me roll some dice and boom, there we go, I have a bard. This is, who am I? Who am I playing? Who am I going to be? So it takes some creativity. But I believe in you. You can do it. Go have fun traveling space. I hope you have a blast. I hope you don't get forced to regenerate. And I hope if you bump into a Dalek, their phasers are broken. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'm Jay the Archfey. This has been the RPG Classroom. Thanks for watching.